Showgirls.
Absolutely terrifying. Hi. How are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing
How are
well.
you all?
I think we're all better now, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to get right to it because we want to hear all about you and our favorite scary movies. So I found something really, really interesting in my research. I stumbled on a fan theory that I had never seen before that painted you, Roger Jackson, as the mastermind of the whole damn thing. Have you heard that fan theory?
No.
That it was the man behind Ghostface, the voice of Ghostface, was the mastermind of every single film, and it was going to be revealed in an upcoming film. I was like, that's an interesting take. I've never thought of that. But what do you think of that theory?
Well, as usual, they haven't told me. I never know who the killers are. I never get a whole script, so.
So do you ever change your vocal delivery based on who's being stalked in the films?
On who's being stalked? No,
Yeah,
I try to change things a little bit from film to film, just because I know it's somebody different. I don't know who the killers are. I never get a whole script, so I can't tailor it to any particular actor. So I just try to change things a little bit because your ear picks it up.
Yeah, you want to mix it up a little bit. Do you have any voiceover artists that were inspirations for you?
How many hours are we here? Because, yeah. Well, I started by doing puppetry when I was about 4 years old or so. Of course, you have to come up with voices for characters, but I love cartoons, animation.
What kid doesn't, huh? And if there's a kid who doesn't like cartoons, they need to see a doctor.
But, yeah, a lot of them, especially, well, I really loved Rocky and Bullwinkle as a kid. I don't know how many of you watched Rocky and Bullwinkle. There were a lot of great actors in that company, Jay Ward's company of actors there. And one of my favorites was Paul Frees, who, he was the original Pillsbury Doughboy. But a lot of his technique was imitating old movie actors. You know, like in Rocky and Bullwinkle, his Boris Badenov was Akim Tamirov, the great Russian actor who worked in America with Orson Welles, Preston Sturges, lots of people, you know. And like the Dudley Do-Right movies, Inspector Fenwick.
Was Eric Blow from all those Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies. I say do right. Snidely Whiplash is simply decimating the countryside. You must do something about it.
And his ape from George of the Jungle was simply Ronald Colman, the great English actor. I say, George, watch out for that tree. But he, in particular, you know, I love movies, old movies, and new movies too. But that's a quick technique for voice actors to, if you have to come up with something quick, think of what old movie actor would fit this role.
That's a great tip for aspiring voice actors. What do you enjoy most about voice acting versus on-camera acting?
Being able to be anybody. Not being limited by the corpus, my carcass. I'm sorry, I always think of Albert Brooks. You know Albert Brooks? His father was a famous comedian named Park Ya Carcass. So, anyway.
Do we have any questions that you guys have? Don't be shy, I promise. Yes?
It's Alex from yesterday. I just wanted to request you can do any character line, but any line from the Alice Madness game.
I believe that is possible, Alice. We all go a little mad sometimes.
I could just listen to him do voices all day long. Any other questions? Yes?
If Ghostface could call any other killer in the horror franchise as a prank call, who would it be?
Any other killer in another franchise?
Another icon.
Well, I imagine he and Freddy Krueger would have a lot to say to each other.
Yep.
Because most of the others don't say anything.
Come on, say something, Michael.
Take my money immediately. So, what kind of direction did Wes give you in the first film, and how did that differ from the direction you got in the films that Wes didn't direct?
Well, Wes really tailored how he directed according to the actor. Because for the first 4 films, I was live on the set. And after that first night, they had me so that I had a monitor that had the camera feed, so I could watch him between takes, talking or working with the actors. And for a lot of what I did, he was very minimal. He would just say, hold it a little bit here, pump it up a little bit at this point, or stretch it out, or something like that. But he was very hands-on with Drew Barrymore. He worked very intensely with her. And in the later films, Matt and Tyler were pretty much the same. They didn't give me much direction. They sort of trusted me to know what the scene needed, and then if it needed anything extra, they'd say the same sort of thing, a little more here, a little less there, so forth.
How did that differ from Kevin Williamson in the latest film?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, you're a master of your craft, so there's probably not very much direction that you need to
Hey,
give
I'm a
you.
master of my craft. What do you know? Hey, Mo, this reading's written rotten.
What was the hardest Ghostface line to get just right?
I can't think of anything that was particularly hard. No, the writing in these films is so good. Everything makes sense. Everything connects in a particular way. So your job as an actor is to know how that works. So trust the reading. But then, like with the second film, we started to play around more. The first film was very tight. Nobody knew what was going to happen, so we were all kind of, although, Matt liked to play around, but I got to improvise in the later films, and some of those lines made it into the movie, so
Do
they
you,
were
get
fun.
do you get to improvise much in those films? I know you did in the later films, but what would you say is the percentage of how much you're getting to improvise that makes it into the film?
Well, after you get a few takes in the can, we're all pretty safe, so you can start to play around, and if something works or if something else comes up that they can cut out, because you got to remember with film, it's really the director creates the performance from pieces of different takes, unless everything works in the one take.
Do you remember a line that you improvised that did make it into the film?
Oh yeah.
Can you
Well,
share?
the first time I really tried that was in the second film, and it was the scene with Randy down at the van where he's going to die. Yeah. But we got a few takes in the can, and at a certain point, I said to him,
Have you ever felt a knife slice through human flesh and scrape the bone beneath?
and I saw on the monitor, he went. And Wes called cut, and Jamie went, "That was great, do that again." So,
Do you have any more questions? Yes.
Yeah, was there a role that you might have turned down because you didn't connect with something that you couldn't do a voice for?
Not generally. Most of the things I've turned down were sound-alikes. I've done a lot of sound-alike work for certain actors. Like, I used to do a lot of Liam Neeson. I doubled for him in the Batman video games, the Battleship television ads. in the Lego movie and so forth. And I was John Goodman in the Sully toy for. I've done a lot of voice, but if I don't feel I can deliver on it, I don't. I just tell them I don't think I sound like this, but you never know, because see, I had been doing that for a long stretch with one of my agents. I said, I can't do that. I don't sound like it. And at a certain point, there was an audition for White House Down. They were looking for a sound-alike for James Wood. And I thought, I don't sound like this, but look, I'll prove it to you. So I recorded the audition and said, you see, listen to this. They sent it anyway, and I booked the job with Roland. So you never know.
Thank you for your question. Yeah.
Are there any characters that you haven't done that you've heard and you've said, you know what, I would have done that better?
I don't know, not really. There are a lot of jobs I would have liked to have had.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a favorite line that you delivered across the franchise?
Besides, what's your favorite scary movie? Because you said that that's your favorite before.
Well, from the script, my favorite line is very, very dull. Oh, you're making popcorn. Because it all kind of starts to turn. And, you know, I only make popcorn when I'm going to watch a movie. Oh, you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? It starts the cat and mouse game.
I almost forgot we were supposed to ask questions. I'm just like riveted. Yes, back there.
Because it's your voice and not live, do you also voice scenes out of order? Like actors?
Like on-camera actors
do. You do it out of order or in order?
Well, for the first 4 films, I am live on the set, talking to them in real time. But with number 5, COVID raised its ugly head. And we tried to do as much as we could through Zoom or Skype. So like the scene with Jenna Ortega at the opening of 5, I'm really on the phone with her. But then a lot of stuff had to be pre-recorded or done in post. And with anything, you have a certain amount of post-production, ADR, additional dialogue recording, where you have to come back in and tweak a line or they change a line, and you have to do a lot of reaction stuff all the that sort of thing.
Sounds like a fun job. Yeah.
Was there? I was curious to know in regards to the specifically when you're in Scream 3 and in Scream 6, when you have certain lines that are done by actors and the second part of the line are done by you. Like for example, in the third one, it's when Ghostface starts using the clone box, and when you take a look at the specific lines, how did that direction happen? Where like the first part was done by an actor, which was basically you, and then the second one. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, that's a great example of ADR. Usually in that sort of case, I'm trying to match their read for the film, so I do over that. But, wait a minute, I just had a thought and then went away. What was it, in 6?
With Samara Weaving.
In 6, in the opening,
Yeah.
I did the whole thing, the opening scene. But Matt and Tyler made the brilliant decision to not use it until the mask shows up. So they used the actor who played the guy who killed the professor. And I thought that was a great choice. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was a great twist on what we're used to seeing. That was amazing. Thank you for your question. Yes?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I love horror movies so much, I don't have a favorite. I have favorites. I could talk about them for hours. I like to recommend that, I ask people, do you watch old movies? They go, oh yeah, I watched that really old movie, The Exorcist. I mean, that was fun. But there are great movies from the past, the 30s, the 40s, silent films that are great. I particularly like to recommend from about 1932, Island of Lost Souls, which is a version of The Island of Dr. Moreau with Charles Lawton as Dr. Moreau. Ooh, now there's somebody scary. It is so creepy, and Bela Lugosi plays the Speaker of the Law. Are we not men? We are men. And there's another great movie, Mad Love, I like to recommend, with Peter Lorre. It is twisted. Do not watch it with children. And it also stars Colin Clive, who played Dr. Frankenstein in the Karloff Frankenstein. Great movie. I like Werewolf of London with Henry Hull from the 30s. Great werewolf makeup. And what I like most about it is when he has his first transformation and he's going out for his first night to kill, he stops to put on his hat and scarf before he goes out the door. From the 60s, if you've never seen it, I like comedy and horror mixed together. So, The Fearless Vampire Killers, have you ever seen that? Directed by Roman Polanski. The full title is The Fearless Vampire Killers, or, pardon me, Are Those Your Teeth in My Neck? And that's the movie where he met his wife, Sharon Tate. Now, I could talk forever about that, but I will tell you the scariest movie I have ever seen. It is a documentary made by the great documentarian Frederick Weissman. It's called Titicut Follies, and it was filmed at the Massachusetts Hospital for the Criminally Insane. And what is scary about it is that you can't tell who the crazy people are, the people running the institution or the people who are in it. Kind of like real life.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Any other questions? All right, I know some of you are working up the courage. That's okay. I wanted to ask, talking about your favorite scary movies, what's your favorite Scream movie? Do you have one?
Well, I like different ones for different reasons. I like 4 because of the idea of social media as the mask that people will hide behind. Because people will do terrible things if you give them the mask to hide behind. I like 2 because the 2 killers were 2 of my favorite actors. Laurie Metcalf, who is just a powerhouse actor. I've never met her. I wish I could. She is brilliant. And Tim Oliphant, who, I mean, these are great guys. But I'd probably have to say the first one, just because we didn't know. You don't know. And it was all new.
The thing about the Scream franchise, which we all know, is it's a commentary on what's going on in horror and in the world at that particular time. I know you really can't talk about 7 and what it's going to comment on, but can you share any theories that you've heard that you are fond of for 7?
I don't have any. I haven't heard any theories.
Really?
No, and like I say, I never get a whole script,
Yeah.
so I don't really know what will happen.
So you don't know the movie even after it's cut and in the can?
Not
you don't
until I
still
see
don't
it.
know? Wow.
Not until I see it. There are certain things I know that you will know.
Yeah.
And you might be able to guess, like, be sure to give us a 5-star rating.
That's a teaser. I feel like everyone's going to analyze that now. What does that mean? Any other questions? Yes.
What is your favorite non-movie thing you've done as Ghostface? Like, for example, when you did Mortal Kombat recently.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I especially liked the Ghostface versus Ghostface. Which one of us are you? You'll have to kill me to find out. Billy? Stu? And I just could not figure out what the hell Ghostface would do with Homelander. Homelander would just he'd be gone. But Well, I had a lot of fun doing this thing. Right now, if you find yourself in London, there is a phone booth there. An orange phone booth for Reese's candy. And the phone just rings intermittently, and if you answer it,
It's Ghostface. I have a quiz for you, and if you pass it, you'll get Reese's.
I see some
oh,
people.
I was also in Superstar with Molly Shannon. That was fun. Got to work with Bruce McGall from Kids in the Hall, who directed it. That was a lot of fun.
And speaking of non-movie Ghostface appearances, I had the absolute joy of listening to the audiobook, your favorite scary movie. That if you have not listened to the audiobook, he narrates the entire book, and you do other people's voices throughout the book. Matthew Lillard, David Arquette. Were those choices that you made, or were you given direction, or did they just tell you just have at it, do your thing?
That was the choice I made. I don't do imitations of them, but I try to find the rhythms of the people that I knew, because there were a lot of people I didn't know. But just try to find their rhythms. So.
And I can tell you, as a listener, it didn't sound like who you were talking about, but I could tell who you were talking about just based on that rhythm. So it was brilliant. It's super enjoyable. If you have not listened to the book, listen to it. It's a beautiful homage to the entire franchise.
I learned a lot myself from it when I did.
Yeah, did you?
It's a really good book.
Was there a particular fact in the book that you didn't know about that you were like, wow?
I had no idea that Wes had been paralyzed for a year as a young man. And, having to deal with that kind of difficulty would definitely leave a great change within you.
Yeah.
And,
Wes was amazing. Any other questions? I thought I saw a hand. Yeah.
Who do you think, character-wise, is the most strategic, or who do you think was Ghostface best throughout the franchise?
Who do you think was the best Ghostface throughout the entire franchise?
Me.
Great answer. Do you have a favorite Ghostface? Besides you, of course.
Well, like I said, Laurie Metcalf and Tim Oliphant, she just went off the rails. And of course, Stu and Billy, Matt and Skeet, you can't go wrong with them. But aside from them, Laurie and Miss Metcalf and Mr. Oliphant, since I have never met them.
What's the greatest compliment that a fan has given you?
Well, I really appreciate it when people tell me that they think my voice makes it, ties it all together. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you.
It really does. It really does. And I can tell you, as a Scream fan, watching it for the first time, listening to that change, that I want to know who I'm looking at, sent chills down our spines collectively. And I don't know about you guys, but when I saw it for the first time in the theater, when it first came out, I immediately did research. I was like, what is that voice? Who is that? I need to find everything I can about that voice. And it does tie the whole entire franchise together in a way that I don't think any other franchise does. So,
thank you. But that's one of the really different things about Ghostface, is that they talk to you. They live in your head. And the thing is, Ghostface can literally be anyone. Anyone. It's like, give them the mask, and the worst can come out.
And I know you have talked in the past about how you came up with the voice of Ghostface, and it had to be that fine blend of scary and also sexy and also intriguing and all of that. is there anything that you can tell us about how you have evolved that voice over the franchise and what you've changed about it? I know you said that you have tweaked it a little bit based on the film and all of the things that are happening in the films, but what can you tell us about what you've done in particular technique-wise?
Well, that's basically it. I try to, it lives in my head too. So I try to be true to it, but change it up a little because you'll be able to, the audience, will be able to tell what is going on, little differences, those things. Because, I like to point out that the audience it's not a passive thing to be a member of the audience. Especially, that's why it's especially good seeing movies in theaters, because the audience creates an energy together, and you have a synergy with whatever you're watching being performed, whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's dance. The audience is not a passive thing, and you will know what you hear and what you see. There's a quote I really love from the great French director Robert Bresson, who said, "The eye sees, but the ear imagines."
I love that. I saw a hand up. Yeah.
I believe it was in, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3, don't quote ones, but one of them they all use the voice changer thing, but one of them, their voices change with the voice changer, and they're doing like individual, like when one they pretend to be one person, they pretend to be another.
Yeah, that was 3.
That was 3, right? Okay. So did you do all those voices of those voice changers, or did they use the original actors' voices as well?
No, that was me. I try to match their movements when I have to, or some of them were matching what I had to say. There's a funny, this is a story of something completely different. As I said, I've done a lot of voice matching before, and I've done a lot of Liam Neeson. And I was in a film produced by a great South African animation company called Triggerfish. It's called Kumba. It was released through Disney. And I was the villain, the leopard in that. And when they went to try to get funding for distribution, the people at France said, "No, you need more famous actors. You need bigger people." Blah 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 blah. And I'm still in the film as the Black Eagle, but they replaced my voice for the leopard with Liam Neeson. And the director told me later, he ended up having to have Neeson listen to what I had done and try to imitate me.
And we come full circle. Any other questions from you guys?
I may or may not have a terrible question. So, you know how Scary Movie is a parody of the Scream franchise? What do you think of the Let's App?
I love the Wayans. They are so great. The whole family. But yeah, they're terrific.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Aren't they making another Scary Movie? I think there's another one coming out. Yeah. Oh, you guys. So, as a voice actor, what advice would you give to a young voice actor who's trying to make it in the business or break into the business?
It's not about the voice, it's about the acting. That's what it is. Control of your technique. There are basically 2 kinds of voice actors. Somebody like me who does a lot of different special effects and stuff. I've done monsters, animals, sound effects, and things that, if you play The Sims, I'm the checker playing chicken in The Sims. I did a lot of stuff on The Sims. I'm literally on hundreds of video games. But it's about the acting, not the voice, the control of your technique. So there are people like me that do a lot of this special stuff. Like if you are watching Devil May Cry on Netflix right now, I play the demon Plasma.
And when you hear my voice, that is not special effects. That's me doing a glottal trill.
But then there are actors like the great John Benjamin, H. John Benjamin, How many of you watch Bob's Burgers?
Yep.
How many of you watch Archer? The same voice, but he's so brilliant at creating different characters. That's what I mean. Control of technique. If you want to become a good voice actor, become a good actor. Get out on the stage, because the audience tells you, teaches you what works and what doesn't. And especially kids. I used to volunteer to, unfortunately, still in our country, teachers are treated like crap. And I like to support them. My wife is a teacher. When I first heard, God, almost 20 years ago, about how teachers are having to buy their own supplies for their classrooms, I thought, my God, well, what can I do to try to help? I went to my local elementary school and I volunteered. I made a flyer and asked them to distribute it to the teachers to read to anyone's class if they wanted. One teacher took me up on it. So for about 3 years, I had the privilege of reading to Ms. Miller's second grade class. And they are the best audience in the world, because if they like you, you know it. If they don't like you, you know it.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Outside of screen, what has been your favorite role of your entire career?
The next one, because it means I'm still working.
Any Mojo Jojo fans? Yes.
Much more evil than Steady Guy. I'm telling ya, I destroy entire cities. They just stab people. Big deal.
Sorry, I needed to cue you up. Yeah.
Silly question. Have you ever prank called anyone using any of your voices? I mean, like.
No, not really. I mean, even with Ghostface, out of context, it doesn't work. You know, you go on. Can I like a Big Mac, and I'd like you to supersize that. Yes, sir. Do you think?
So, as we all know, AI is here to stay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't outrun it, but in the industry, it seems to be having a huge impact. Are you feeling that impact yet as a voice actor yet?
Yeah, it's actually, they created an AI of the Ghostface voice some time ago for actually Scream 5. It was a promo that was up on TikTok, so for a few months you could call in and say, I want a Big Mac and I want a supersized fry, or whatever you wanted to say. And they took that down, supposedly. But I've been hearing from other people that there are AIs that are duplicating my voice. Illegal AIs. We will find you. We will get you.
And I remember that promo, I have to admit, there was a phone number you could call, and it would tell you could put in your name, and it would have Ghostface's voice. But I didn't know at the time it was AI, but I remember thinking, this doesn't sound right. There's something off about it. So personally, I hope we never get a Ghostface AI version, because we need Roger Jackson's Ghostface forever.
Thank you.
Nice. Any other questions? We're running out of time, so now's your chance. Yeah.
Favorite opening kill?
Favorite opening kill and why? That's a hard one.
I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I think they're all pretty entertaining.
That's true.
I liked the opening of 6 because they killed the actress who Matt and Tyler had in their film Ready or Not, which I immediately watched when I heard they were going to be directing number 5, and I thought, yeah, these guys are going to be good.
Yeah.
She's Hugo Weaving's niece.
Yeah.
The great Hugo Weaving.
That's nepotism I'm on board with. We can all agree she's amazing. So for that film in particular, because it was such a deviation of what we're used to, and I think in part that's what made it work, Did you feel the energy was different, or did it just feel like it was just another Scream movie?
Oh, well, like I say, I don't see it until I see it, until
Right.
it's all made, but it did have a different energy, but that's good. I mean, they were bringing in, trying to develop the next generation, as it were, so it had a lot of, no, that's just it, the difference, trying to build into something else. And there are so many things I liked about 6, and I just love Dermot Mulroney. He looks like he's having the time of his life there. And he told me he was. He was having tremendous fun. And it shows. And I really appreciated the little Easter egg that they did not tell me they were going to do, which was, it's set at Halloween, so everyone's in costume. So when the Scooby Gang are going down the steps to the subway, there's someone coming up the steps in a Mojo Jojo costume.
Now we have to watch out for it. I missed that. Any other questions? Yeah.
If you were to give any horror icon a voice, like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, what would the voice be?
Oh, they don't work with a voice. No, it's the silence there that's part of the scare. But, I don't know. There's so many things I'd like to do. Maybe I'll get to do them.
So what's next for Roger Jackson?
Well, there's Devil May Cry, that's on. I'm looking forward to seeing the new movie. I like doing audiobooks. I've produced a few audiobooks, and they're all very different because I don't always do the same voice, which is not what people usually look for in an audiobook. They like to hear the same narrator, but I switch it up and change it. And I have some video games coming out in the next year or two that I cannot tell you. And hopefully I can keep working. I got bills to pay.
Right on.
Well, we look forward to everything that you do. Thank you so much for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Nancy.
It has been
Thank
a
you all.
pleasure. Give it up for Ghostface himself, Roger Jackson. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.